Skipping strength training at times is unavoidable, and doing an effective strength training routine at home with minimal equipment can achieve results. However, that can take time and energy that, on some days, is hard to find. A way to exercise muscles effectively with no equipment is possible. Even with minimal time to spare, it is possible to squeeze in one exercise. And over the course of a day, a full-body workout without interrupting a busy schedule is the result. This muscle training method is called isometrics, or isometric exercise. It's not a complete substitute for more traditional forms of strength training, and for some people with specific medical concerns it may not be appropriate at all. But it could be just what is needed when a regular routine is not possible. Muscles gain strength when challenged to produce more force than they're used to. This is typically done by forcing them to move against resistance or weight, like when doing a bicep curl while holding a dumbbell. As weight or resistance is gradually increased, the muscle responds by getting stronger. But muscles don't actually have to move this added weight in order to get stronger. If the resistance is so high that they can't make it move, they can still get stronger just by trying. There are 3 ways a muscle can contract to produce force and eventually build strength. 1. A concentric contraction occurs when a muscle is contracting while getting shorter. This is the contraction biceps do, for example, when lifting a dumbbell up during a bicep curl. 2. An eccentric contraction occurs when a muscle is contracting while getting longer. This is the contraction biceps do, for example, when lowering a dumbbell back down during a bicep curl. 3. An isometric contraction occurs when a muscle contracts without changing its length or causing any movement of the bones to which it is attached. The best example of this is pushing against a wall or pulling up on a window that is stuck. This is the contraction biceps do, for example, if pausing anywhere along the lifting or lowering phase of a bicep curl, the muscles are working without shortening or lengthening. There are several very good reasons to include isometric contractions in strength training program. For one thing, real-life situations often require the ability to hold yourself in a certain position, carrying several bags of groceries, squatting down to scrub a floor, holding a baby in your arms, and isometrics is a good way to train your muscles to get better at handling those specific positions. For another, isometric training usually involves exerting maximum force, which will activate and train all of the available muscle fibers and lead to more significant improvements in strength in less time. But perhaps the most significant benefit for many people is that isometric training can literally be done anywhere, without any special equipment at all. All that is needed is about 10 seconds to do a single, effective isometric exercise, and this can probably be done without anyone noticing an exercise is actually occurring. If time is just too precious, only 10 seconds, a couple of times during the day is available. Press your palms together as hard as possible. You can still exercise your arm muscles effectively. If you can sit in a chair with your abs engaged and feet held just slightly off the floor, you're giving those core muscles a good workout. If that's too easy for you, just push down on your knees with your hands while trying not to let your feet touch the floor. To work those upper back and neck muscles, clasp your hands behind your neck, elbows wide, and push your head back while trying to push it forward with your hands. With a little creativity, you can think of ways to use one muscle or limb to oppose the opposite one so that you can give most of your muscles a good isometric workout. As long as you exert as much force as you can for at least 10 seconds for each exercise, you'll get the training benefit. The biggest limitation of isometric exercise is that each isometric hold only increases your muscle strength in that exact position, not through a full range of motion. In other words, if all you do to strengthen your arms is press your palms together with your elbows bent at right angles, your arms won't become stronger at lifting things when your elbows are straight. Therefore, it's impractical to make isometrics your primary form of strength training. You'd need to do many exercises, each at a different joint angle, in order to strengthen a muscle at all points in its full range of motion. Isometric contractions also restrict blood flow and can cause sharp rises in blood pressure during the exercise. This means that isometric exercises can be unsafe for anyone with heart disease or high blood pressure and women who are pregnant. If you fall into one of these categories, do not try isometric exercises without the consent of your doctor. For everyone, it is very important to remember to breathe properly during any intense muscular contraction, especially the maximum contractions of isometric exercise. Never hold your breath during the contraction and try to maintain a normal breathing rhythm. And avoid extending the time of maximum muscle contraction much beyond 10 seconds. Supplementing your concentric and eccentric strength training exercises with some isometric exercises is ideal. In addition to using isometrics, when you don't have time to do anything else, as described earlier, you can also add them into your regular routine to make sure you're really working your muscles to the point of maximum overload. There are many ways to do this. For example, you can easily turn a regular exercise into an isometric one by simply pausing and holding, somewhere along the range of movement, for a few seconds. In general, it will be harder and result in greater benefit when you hold closer to the very top of the lifting phase or the very bottom of the lowering phase. Here are a few examples when doing bicep curls, triceps extension, chest presses and similar resistance exercises. Pause halfway through your lifting phase and hold the weight steady. Make it harder by pausing just before you lower back down to the starting point of the exercise. When doing squats, lunges, and push-ups, pause after lowering yourself down and hold your body steady. When doing crunches, pause at the top of your crunch and hold. Make it harder by pausing just before you reach the starting point of the exercise. It's also good to vary the holding point from workout in order to maintain strength through the whole range of motion. You can also use isometrics to involve additional muscles in some regular exercises too. For example, if you're doing a plank exercise to strengthen your core muscles, try adding a few isometrics to engage your upper body. Instead of keeping your elbows straight and locked, bend them just slightly and try to hold that position. That will give your arm and shoulder muscles something to do, along with your core muscles. Let us know your thoughts on your isometric routine. Be smart about your workouts